One of the most common questions that everybody asks me is, what do I eat? Well, I decided to make this video, so let's get to it. Hey, welcome back everyone. If this is your first time, my name is Abhijit and I reversed my type 2 diabetes by simply doing three things. Change my diet to whole food, plant-based, vegan. Not a diet, more of a lifestyle. Second, regular exercise. And third, a peaceful sleep. If you haven't checked out my diabetes video, I'll link it up right there, here, whichever place. I will link it up so you can go and watch it. So the most common question on that video is, what do I eat? Well, let's break that into what I call the 5 categories of food. Number 1, grains. Number 2, legumes. Number 3, nuts and seed. Number 4, vegetables. And number 5, fruits. All my meals are either tapping into at least 3 of these things. So if I'm eating lunch, I make sure I have some grains, I have some legumes, I have some vegetables in it, or sometimes I get all of them. In most cases, I consume fruits after I finish my lunch or dinner. Most of the time, my dinner includes the fruits, but in the afternoon, usually I will eat fruit as a snack in between the meals. Now, how many meals do you have to eat? I'll leave it up to you. I only eat 3 times a day, maybe 4. There is no right or wrong answer. You know, there are a lot of debates. Oh, people are saying 6 times, eating 6 times is impossible. Well, it's possible, but it all depends what portion of meal you're eating, how frequently you're eating, and what is your schedule look like. So everybody is different, everybody's schedule is different, so you have to decide what works for you. How do you decide what to eat in the morning? Well, I'm also doing intermittent fasting, so pretty much I eat around 9:30, 10 is my first meal. I usually go for a peanut butter, which is a completely 100% natural. There is nothing else, it's literally peanut butter. With a chunk of peanuts, I use Trader Joe's whole food bread. I also use a fig butter that also you can find in Trader Joe. So that's my first meal with banana. So it's peanut butter banana that I use. To scramble tofu with a couple of slices of bread and freshly squeezed orange juice. Lunch, there's a variety of food I eat. Sometimes we order Thai food from outside. Most of the time my wife cooks. So my lunch mostly consist of Indian roti, sabji, dal, brown rice. We also make tofu, palak, so it's spinach and tofu. It's a curry based item. We eat whole wheat roti but no butter on it, no ghee on it, nothing, just plain roti. We also make the rotis without any oil, or if we have to add, it's not more than a tablespoon of an oil for 4 or 5 people's meal. So it's very minimal, doesn't affect the body that much. During lunch, most of the time I make sure that I have a balanced meal where I have protein, enough protein. I also have enough carbohydrates and a lot of vegetables. Most of my meals you will see there is a dal, which gives me a lot of protein, or I will go with chickpeas, mung, a lot of options which covers my protein portion. For carbohydrates, I usually stay with the roti, which is 100% whole wheat roti. For everything else, a lot of fiber, a lot of nutrition rich sabji. Our background is we are Gujarati. We come from the state which is called Gujarat, which does not have sabjis made out of curry. Sabjis are mostly chopped vegetables, some spices in it, and sometimes they use oil. We figured it out. Not me, but Reshma figured it out how to make it without oil. So she does the tadka, which is the, I don't know what it's called. It's called tadka. Basically, all these spices, you put it in and you mix it out. She uses water based, so she's not using any kind of oil in it. If you have to use it, it's mostly when she has to do a little bit of onion work, because if you use water with onion, the taste kind of gets screwed up. So she uses a tiny bit, like a hint of oil, basically like a small brush on the pan, and then she uses with the onion. Gives a perfect taste. Now, does that taste exactly like what you eat in restaurant? Absolutely not. It's gonna take some time, but it's about health. Now, does it taste completely bad? No, it tastes very good, very close to what you can make at home. I would basically not compare any of the food that we eat with the restaurant food because they use extreme high amount of oil, high amount of ghee, high amount of curries, which are made out of the cream, heavy cream. There is no way we can compare that to a restaurant. But again, when you are making at home, it is very close to what you can make. You know, we know how much oil they use, and I think you can certainly reduce the amount of oil that you use to cook this food. That will help a lot. Some days I will skip eating rotis. I will stick with brown rice and mug, however you say it. In Gujarati we call it mug. It basically gives you a perfect balance of protein and carbohydrates in your meal. It's very filling. To be honest, it's one of my favorite for lunch. It's quick and easy to make, and it tastes great. In most of our meal, we make sure we have a side of kachumber. That's what we call in Gujarati. But it's basically tomatoes and onions chopped up with cucumbers. We mix it up with a little bit of spices. It tastes great. It's really nice addition to your meal on the side. It's also very filling, so it gives you a nice flavor to it. We use it most of the time with all of our meals, and whenever we feel like that, okay, we need some change from the Indian food, basically tap into two other areas. One is the Thai food, the second is the Mexican food. They both come to, or I would say very similar to Indian food, where you can literally ditch all the oils and ingredients. You can make it simply with just beans, rice, vegetables and whatnot. Sometimes we make quesadillas, sometimes we make tacos. We also get some Thai food from outside. We know the place, we request them not to use any kind of oil, and they, you know, honor our request, so we are very thankful of that. Basically go with the steamed tofu instead of the regular tofu, and we asked to add tons and tons of vegetables. So we have broccolis, green beans, edamame, a lot of options that they give us. Now, as I said, I also do intermittent fasting. Me and Resh, we both do the intermittent fasting. So our last meal is never after 6 p.m. So we always try to squeeze it in between 5 and 6, and according to that, we adjust the next morning. It's just the preference that we have. So far, it's working out great, and we are enjoying it. First week of the intermittent fasting was a little bit difficult, but again, I'll make another video on that to give you the breakdown on how you can transition into intermittent fasting and how you can fit that in your lifestyle. Some of the questions that came in my inbox, DM, email is, can I eat samosas? Can I eat outside food? How can I control, or how do I manage eating out? You know, I have difficult schedules. In any case, it's not an easy transition, but it's doable transition. So what I would suggest to anyone who's looking to make this move from your regular vegetarian lifestyle into a whole food plant-based vegan lifestyle, it is not that difficult, to be honest. And people have a lot of misconception that, oh, I can only eat certain stuff, you know, I can't eat potatoes and I can't eat this and that and whatnot. There are so many things out there. Yeah, the biggest one is I can't eat fruit because it has sugar. If you're type 2 diabetic, first of all, consult your doctor, ask them questions, see if they can spend some more time with you and educate you. If not, try to see if there is a whole food plant-based nutritionist or a doctor who promotes that near your area. Have a consultation with them, understand the science behind that, and it will help you a lot. Personally, I think if you want to eat samosas, get something which is raw, not fried. You can use air fryer. Potatoes are practically in my every meal, if I'm not wrong. I eat potatoes like anything, and I have no problem. My A1C is 5.3, so that's not a problem at all. Again, these things will work if you make the transition to plant-based lifestyle. If you keep your consistency with non-healthy diet, with a lot of junk food, processed food, if you try to incorporate all these things, it's not going to work. It has to have a transition period where you can reduce certain things. For example, if you think the potatoes are bad, until you move into the plant-based lifestyle, try to reduce a little bit. Try to see how you can manage. Once you say, okay, I'm good, you know, I can transition into this lifestyle, or I already did, then eating potatoes are fine. Eating fruits are fine. You have to make sure that you're following these steps to take care of your health. But in any case, you know, I'm not a doctor. I'm just sharing what I'm doing, and I hope that that can help you. Take this, ask the questions to your doctor or your nutritionist, and see what they are saying. Everybody has a different theories, everybody has a different body, everybody has a different approach. What works for me has to be maybe tweaked a little bit for you. So please make sure that you discuss this before you take this step. In any case, plant-based is not gonna hurt you. It's always gonna help you. That's for sure. Next question that I get a lot is, how do I manage when we have to go out for dinner or we are invited at somebody else's house? I'm very blessed to have great friends who take care of me by having vegan options. If I think that I'm being invited somewhere that they can make certain things, I carry my food. They understand I have a particular lifestyle and they respect that. They always ask us, hey, what should I make? And we always say, hey, don't worry about the food, we'll carry it. We will take our food. Gatherings are more for fun, not for food. Now, if I'm going at the restaurant, I will call them in advance and ask them if they make certain food and if they can tweak certain food for us. If not, we try to skip those restaurants. Now, there are a couple of vegan Indian restaurants are also coming up, so we're excited to try certain things. You have to make the adjustments when you're going to the restaurants. You can't have plant-based meals in a regular restaurant unless you're going to a vegan restaurant. But if you go to a family or friends gathering, tell them what you're doing, and if they're not able to provide you with the food, just feel free to carry it. It's about enjoyment when you go and see your friends and family, not about the food. So overall, that's what I usually eat. I stick to a balanced meal. It depends on my workout regimen. Currently, I'm moving into building more muscles, so I'm reducing a little bit on the carbohydrates and increasing my protein intake. But overall, if you're moving to plant-based lifestyle, you don't really have to worry about too much calorie counts or how much carbs and how much protein. You can just eat as much as you can until you feel full and just enjoy. So I hope this video helps you guys. I hope I answered all your questions. And if you have more questions, please feel free to leave in the comment section below. I would love to make a follow-up video on that. And if you have a specific questions, I would love to hear from you. Please feel free to drop your comments, your likes, your questions, or your encouragement, everything in the comment section below. I'm making this video because I'm enjoying it so much. Again, I am not a doctor, so you have to consult with your doctor if you want to move into plant-based lifestyle. But in any case, I beat my diabetes in 3 months, and I think if I can do it, you can do it too. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell so every time when I post a video, you'll be the first one to know. As always, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then,